Hey, what's up guys? A long overdue video. Apologies on my part. I know it's been a few weeks, but I'm ready to show you guys what we've been up to. The shop is absolutely packed, and yes, a couple of these are mine, but there's also some cool new stuff in here that we're going to talk about today. So let's go get it.
Keep going.
Yeah. Well, so following me in here, you'll notice a plethora of square bodies. We've got my K30 Blazer, the K30 Burb, which unfortunately I smoked the clutch on, so that's going to be getting a new center force dual friction disc clutch here in the next week or two. But this is what I wanted to talk about today, because this is something new that super stoked on. This truck arrived about a month ago from Georgia. I have a subscriber and viewer out there who sent me his truck to do a full rebuild on it, and I'm super stoked to partner with him. Just follow me around. John's got the camera and he'll chime in here because he's been helping out with all the fab. So, beautiful blank slate 1990 Blazer. Completely unmolested. I think it had one little accident over in the corner. You've gone through it. Have you seen anything on this that you did the floor and everything? What did you find in the floor?
No, this thing's cherry. It's got the normal cracks you would see where seat mounts are, and we filled probably maybe 15 little holes, little pinholes, cracks in the floor. But yeah, I mean, the cleanest thing ever. You look at the bed rails here where
they're mint.
Where the tops never come off.
Yeah.
Like its entire life.
Yeah, look at that.
Unless it's been repainted and we just don't know.
I don't know, because it looks
But
pretty.
it looks cherry.
Yeah.
Everything's straight, no rust.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So I'm gonna walk around and point out what we've done so far and talk about what we got coming up on this guy. But this is gonna be bitchin', because this is a blank slate. This is a completely cherry Blazer that I get to basically build my dream. The guy's sending me an LS motor that's already tuned, cammed, ready to go. It's already got the 1-ton axles. It's already got custom leaf springs. We're building the cage. We're building bumpers and sliders and all that. And we've trimmed the fenders, and we're getting onto a bunch of other stuff. But I thought this was the next step in the video I did up here that talked about basic things to do with your square body Blazer, like must-do upgrades. This is kind of the next level. This is a truck that, well, it's purpose-built to do one thing really well, and that's destroy all trails. So here, I'm gonna hand it back to John. And let's start with the fender trimming, because I think you did a kick-ass job on this. Now, this looks great, but actually it's pretty unnecessary, because the tire actually moves forward doing full compression. So we've still got some work to do here. We're probably gonna have to be folding this area in, but I get a lot of impact up here. This is just a very clean progression from the natural body line that John continued down. It matches what the customer actually did on the other side, so kudos to Aaron for a nice template for us to work off of. We managed to bash the fender in with a hydraulic jack to follow the trim, follow the body line. So it looks fairly factory too. You also cut off these fangs. I think this is a notorious problem for people who are going anything over 35-inch tires. There's this big trepidation about cutting into vintage sheet metal. It's fine. These trucks look good if you follow the natural lines. And by bending, like basically putting a bottle jack here and here and a block of wood, John bent this guy, put a little notch up in this corner, bent this flush. Now, we've got a little bit of cleanup to do here, but nothing major, and it looks great. Did I mention how good it looks? Anyway, so that's what we've done up front so far, pretty minor, but let's move to the back, because that's where the action's been. So this gentleman wanted a truck that looked as good as it performed. Now, while my truck, my Blazer, is incredibly capable, it's also pretty beat, and it's probably a 50-footer at this point. So, as I mentioned, I'm pretty excited because I get to build something that if I was starting over, minus the links, this is probably what I'd be doing. In fact, it is what I'd be doing. So, take a look at the bumper that we fabbed up. We went with 2-inch chromoly. So this is 4130 chromoly tubing. Super strong tubing. It's what we're building roll cages out in the pre-runner and things like that. And then the roll cage inside is 1.75" 120 wall DOM. This is a 2-inch 120 wall, drawn over mandrel, 40-130 chromoly. Basically, you've got cold rolled, then you've got like hot rolled, then you've got DOM, then you've got chromoly. I think in that order. I may have the hot and the cold confused, but anyway, so French this whole bumper in here. Why don't you talk about it? You did this, so talk about it.
Welded in the tow package as well. We got this donated from a Blazer / Yukon.
Yeah, check that out.
My phone's ringing. Wonderful.
Okay, hold on. Is
Bert.
Oh, tell him we're filming.
Bert, we're filming. We'll call you right back.
We're doing very important stuff, Bert.
We're doing rocket science right now.
Bert is the owner of that lathe for the past
right back,
40
Bert.
years and has taught me so much about metal work,
I will. I'm still at the shop.
fabrication, machining, and
Okay, buddy.
various other things. So yeah, when Bert calls, we answer the phone.
Yeah, Bert's the man.
That guy drops more knowledge on us than, man, yeah.
He tells you you're doing everything wrong except what
Yeah.
you're doing right.
And then he tells you how to do everything right, and he's always correct. Anyway, so John, get back to it. This is the...
Yeah, so we got a tow package that was donated from what was it?
This came out of Duke's GMC. It's 23...
It did, huh?
It came out of that 1991 GMC 2300.
Yeah, so we cut that thing
3500.
down, welded it into the stock frame rail area.
Yeah, so it looks like it
and
belongs
plated
here.
it in with pieces of the tow package original hanger.
94 Chevy, that's where it is.
It says Blazer right there. It's meant to be.
Stop arguing with me, it's my TV
Don't
show.
you freaking argue with me.
So, like I said, the customer wanted minimal but functional. And I think this just is perfect. This is why. One more bar thrown under there, attached to the frame that just gives this outrigger corner tons of support and rigidity. So this is, here, can you throw that guy up?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Where's your face at? Oh, there.
That's the diamond plate cover. We're gonna have one there. And
We've got access holes to drop the skid plate for the fuel tank.
yeah, that was a challenge, was figuring out, we wanna make it look as factory as we can. And
we want to make it very, very user-friendly.
user-friendly, yeah, factory, it doesn't look factory.
Yeah, I'm like, this is far from factory.
Yeah, hey, pop the tailgate so we can show the people what they really wanna see.
Tell them how you feel.
So this is the cage we've thrown together for this. Here, I'm gonna grab
Oh, it's beautiful back here.
super nice and
You
clean.
cleaned up so perfect before.
Yeah,
the show
where's the floor plate? Okay, so, ow. Shout out to DIY 4x. If you don't know DIY4by.com, they're, you're like, you totally threw me off there. You're like, hey, seriously, I'm saying that, and John's just
We
like,
didn't get these from DIY 4x.
huh?
We didn't get
Yeah,
these.
we didn't, but
Are you saying the design?
yeah, the design. I'm just giving him a shout out because I bought these from Kurt years ago in this
I
design.
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you made the plates in your Blazer yourself.
No, those came from Kurt and that cage.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so shout out to DIY 4x.
Dude, DIY 4x.
Yeah,
Money.
he super good dude. He makes the dash, he makes the doors. So between Off-Road Design and DIY 4x, there's pretty much, and Merrick's Garage, shameless plug. We got you covered when it comes to all the Squarebody stuff. So Kurt used to make these staked foot plates that would, so you put this is where the cage welds to on the top. This would come up from underneath, and then you would sandwich the floor right here, and the tube comes down on the stake. You obviously cut it flush, but it's just another locating piece, and instead of just being bolted to the floor, you're actually sandwiching the floor. So Kurt made these for years. I don't know if he still offers them, so I'm considering making a big run of these.
With Kurt's permission, of course.
With Kurt's permission, and offering them for sale, because I think they're great for building cages. So yeah, you'll see actually we've got them in all four corners. So this is just a family cage right now. And this week on Instagram, I posted it for sale. Like, we'll be taking orders to build these so you guys can just bolt them in. It doesn't have a halo or a pillar. That's the whole point right now. This can just be dropped in. You put a floor plate down to mark your holes, or the cage to mark your holes. You drill your holes, and you bolt it in. I'm not saying anything about its, durability for multiple rollovers. This is better than nothing, and it's for off-road use only. Anyway, so back to the cage. We're building the full cage for this guy, but right now we're focused on working our way front to back. So we've given him a simple family cage, some triangulation up top, out of the way of headroom, front to rear crash bars that should, hope not, but should there ever be any accidents, there's a little bit of protection from the sides. And I know people on Instagram responded to me like, can you bring this back and have it follow the lines of the... No, this is my build, and this is what the customer wanted, and I happen to think this just looks perfect.
We need a WD-40 sponsor for that tailgate.
Seriously. Secret tip, welding.
You're not showing the label. We got sponsored, didn't we?
No, not yet. Not going to call if they're not paying attention.
Never. They're never going to sponsor.
No, they're not going to sponsor us. This is flammable, and I use it as an anti-spatter when I weld, so you don't get all...
We're trying to get a Chevron sponsor. Ooh. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and another tire sponsor. Hashtag Merrick's Garage needs a tire sponsor. Anyway, so excited about where this build's going. Let's walk around, because there is other stuff going on. Like I said, the Suburban needs a lot of work, which I've got to pull the clutch. Apparently, a factory OEM clutch, it just can't keep up with what I'm towing. I've been smoking it. It's a story for another video, but that clutch is smoked. I towed up the Grapevine last week with this on the trailer and barely made it to the top. Freaking smoke show everywhere. It's badass, but it torpedoed a trip. Again, Lieutenant Dan's got legs. Fire Marshal Bill is his new name. Been making a ton of progress on it. This guy is actually fairly close to firing up. John's been doing a lot of the fab work over on the Red Blazer, and I've been over here doing like buttoning up and finish work and getting this LMC floor in and these DIY side panels. It's a lot of work. This LMC floor, for those of you who've never used it, it is a lot of work to put in, but I think it does look pretty good. And with a heat gun, or doing it in the sun, or just arthritis, you can push through and make this come out great. Let me show you the interior, because once again, super minimalist. Let's fire this up, edit this so they can't see what I'm doing for the kill switch there. So I don't know if you can hear the fuel pump loading up, but there we go. Dash is ready to go. This would essentially just be a push button start off of the Switch Pros. So we're gonna have it wired up, so when this truck is energized through the Switch Pros, it starts the starter, fires the starter, starts the big block, and you're now running off push button. We are very, very close on Lieutenant Dan. The engine work's done, everything's back together, torqued and striped and Loctited. Brake lines are run apart from the front lines, fuel lines are in, steering lines apart from the ram are in. I've got some cooling lines for the transmission and power steering to hook up still. Most of the electrical's done. AC needs to be done, but that's not a high priority list item.
It's all installed, though.
Everything's in. It's just
not finalized.
Well, I'd say 90% is like that's finalized.
90% would be not finalized.
This guy.
I know. I cause problems.
Frickin' guy.
I like to cause problems.
Anyway, I'm hoping to fire this one up next week. The power steering unit down here, the pump that we installed.
That went in so easy.
That's lies.
No, I mean.
Cap.
2 minutes.
Cap.
All done. So
this is the factory unit that goes in this mid-mount accessory drive. So instead of having accessory drive where everything's like all over the place, you can get a mid-mount accessory drive that shrinks everything down, integrates the water pump into the actual housing. It looks bitchin'. But it's meant for hot rods. It's meant for Camaros and two-wheel drive cars and C10s and stuff. And so you end up with a power steering pump. Yeah, that's the alarm that's going off. We have an alarm going off.
We love that alarm.
Yeah, it's great. It's like tinnitus plus tinnitus. So the problem was we couldn't run hydro boost off of this and the hydraulic assist and the hydro ram off a pump this big. Now, this PSC pump that's probably 4 times the size of this was never intended to go down there. So we had to cut into the aluminum bracketry of the mid-mount housing and basically build a bracket here and a bunch of spacers we made on the lathe to relocate the power steering pump out in 3-dimensional space and then fixed to give us appropriate tension for the pulley and everything. It was a whole thing. I've been diligently working on it for way too long. This is probably generation 6, but I'm super stoked on where it is. It looks great. Yeah, I've got a list of things to do on this, but overall we're looking pretty good. But I got some other cool stuff, so let's show you what's been keeping us busy. The other tenants in this building have moved out, and I'm walking over to the alarm so I can turn it off while we're walking. So the other tenants in this building, their lease ended and they left. And the owner of the business had some cool stuff that he was like, you know, let's wheel and deal here. So
I don't want to take it to Oklahoma.
yeah, here, John, talk about your pump.
So when we first moved in here, I saw this Indian gas pump, and I'm like, that's freaking cool. I want one of those. I don't need one of those, but I would like one of those.
Yeah, this was sitting in storage, and we noticed it.
And I'd love to turn this into a kegerator.
Oh, bro, that's...
Putting a pony keg in here.
Yeah.
Actually dispensing your beer out of the fuel
pump. Yeah, are you kidding me? Like, how dope would that be?
That'd be so bitchin'.
Yeah.
So this guy didn't want to move it. I had some cool stuff.
What did you trade him for it?
An old pirate pistol.
1847.
And he loved it.
1847 black powder single shot.
54 caliber.
54 caliber hand cannon.
Yeah, a regular killing machine for one time. 5-minute reload.
And
so I got this thing from him, and then James traded this thing.
Don't yell at me. I know. I do love this cockpit. This is wonderful. And I am sad to see it go.
I thought you traded the 3 chairs for it.
The 3 chairs, yes. I'm sad to see these 3 chairs. Luckily, I'll still have this one to remember the good times all 4 of us
and the sandbags.
had together, the sandbags. The Cuckfee is unfortunately heading to Oklahoma. We're going to get it running for him first. But here you are. I'm going to go look all cafe racer on it.
Yeah, so he wanted the Army truck instead of this beautiful machine right here.
Yeah. Now,
he had this for many years and didn't use it.
It's
kind of a piece of art that it's tough to say, hey, let's take this out on the streets.
I have, but so this is a 2015 Triumph Thruxton that as a naked bike, you'd recognize probably as a more modern bike, but had a full custom tank, shroud, fairing, windshield, tail housing, exhaust. We're talking sandbags, wood structures, planishing hammers, English wheels. This was fully hand built. And I couldn't say no to it. I mean, it is, it is amazing. It's for sale. I don't know if any of my Squarebody brethren.
It's just too much bike for you, James.
It's way too much bike. My bikes have 3 wheels usually. No,
got training wheels usually.
I love riding. I've never talked about it, but I love motorcycles, bikes, riding. It's 2 wheels are fantastic.
I dig this thing. I wish I fit on it.
Oh,
I'd take it for a spin.
Yeah, it's awesome, but it belongs in the museum.
Gorillas, it's made for chimpanzees.
No, yeah, I mean, take a look around. Does it fit in?
It fits that gas pump.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's 2 cultures clashing. Like, I feel like this is 1970s, Silverstone, and this is like 1950s Palm Springs Route 66. But I like the 2 together. It's cool. Anyway, this has been a rambling Merrick's Garage. Here, get in here, dude.
This is what we like to do on the weekends.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Hey.
Am I here?
living the dream, building cool stuff, sharing it with you guys. I hope to be more diligent in getting these videos out. I do apologize. As you can see, we're buried. But I got some big news coming up. I'm gonna save that for another video. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe down below. Give me a thumbs up. Go check out merricksgarage.com and get out and work on your truck.
Merrick's Garage.